Yo, this right here ain't no regular rap beef or jailhouse scuffle. This might just be the most shocking twist in the saga of Chicago drill royalty. Word on the yard is that Lil Durk, yes, the voice himself, was attacked behind bars in what insiders are calling a calculated move of revenge. And guess what name's being whispered through the prison walls? King Von. Now hold up, we know what you're thinking. Durk and Von were like brothers. They rode for each other in and out the booth. But new claims suggest that not everybody in Von's old circle feels the same way. There's a dark rumour going around that certain folks believe Durk didn't ride hard enough after Von's death. And now, some real street justice might be in motion. Sources close to the facility say Durk was caught slipping. No security, no warning, just fists flying and chaos erupting. Guards had to intervene. Lockdowns were enforced. And now the internet is on fire trying to piece together what went down. Was it a random act of violence? Or was this an inside job tied to long-buried loyalty codes and betrayal? Stick around, because what we uncovered might just flip this whole story on its head. It all started with a phone call, a whisper in the night that turned into a storm by morning. Someone from the inside reached out to a trusted source on the outside, shaking up the entire Chicago rap scene with just 6 words. They got to Lil Durk. Bro. By the time the rumors hit social media, fans were spiraling. Twitter was on fire. Instagram lives were filled with wild speculation, and fans started dissecting every old beef, every post, every lyric. The whispers became louder. Was Lil Durk really attacked in prison? And if so, who would dare? But the real jaw-dropper? The streets were saying it had something to do with King Von. See, to understand what's unfolding behind those prison walls, you gotta go back, way back, to the night King Von was shot and killed outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta. Durk and Von had been like brothers, bonded by the streets, the music, the pain. They were both survivors of the Chicago trenches, the faces of a movement. But when Von died, some fans, and even some folks close to him, started asking uncomfortable questions. Why didn't Durk slide for Von? Why wasn't there more retaliation? Why did he go quiet after that initial mourning post? For a while, it was just noise, internet talk. But recently, people in Von's old circle, especially folks affiliated with Oblock, started speaking out in coded ways. Cryptic posts, subtle shots in interviews. There was this unspoken tension, like something unsaid was boiling beneath the surface. Fast forward to now. Durk, recently incarcerated on an unrelated charge, locked up in a facility outside of Atlanta. Sources say he was keeping his head down, avoiding trouble, sticking to the music, the workouts, the books. But something shifted last week. According to someone close to the situation, an inmate with ties to Von's former affiliates was transferred into Durk's unit. It didn't take long before word started spreading around the block. You know who that is, right? That's Lil Durk. And apparently, not everyone was starstruck. Some were heated. One inmate, who we'll call Rico for now, allegedly said out loud, "He let Von die and got rich off his name. That ain't loyalty." By day 3, tensions were at a boiling point. Durk was approached in the yard. Nothing crazy, just a few slick comments. "Where your lil homie at now? You ain't the voice no more." Durk, according to insiders, kept his cool. He didn't respond. He just walked away. But that silence, that only fueled the fire. What happened next wasn't caught on camera, but it was witnessed by multiple inmates and guards, according to our sources. Durk was in the library section, reportedly alone, when 3 men entered. It was supposed to be quiet time, but within seconds, chaos erupted. Fists were flying, books were knocked over, and Durk was seen on the ground trying to defend himself. Guards rushed in, lockdown was called, and the entire block was sealed off. The official report called it a physical altercation involving multiple inmates. No names were mentioned. But the streets? The streets knew who it was, and they weren't buying the random fight narrative. Someone close to the prison staff leaked that Durk suffered bruised ribs, a swollen eye, and had to be seen by medical immediately. Nothing life-threatening, but the message was clear. This wasn't about a petty argument. This was personal, and that's when things got even messier. Back in Chicago, Von's sister Kayla B took to Instagram with a cryptic post. No words, just a black screen and a single clock emoji. Fans instantly went crazy in the comments. Was that about Durk? Is the time up? Kayla didn't confirm anything, but she didn't deny it either. Meanwhile, fans were split. Some defended Durk, saying he had nothing to prove. that he'd done enough for Von, that the streets were just being messy. Others weren't so sure. Old interviews resurfaced, old tweets, even an old Instagram live where Von seemed to hint at tension with Durk before his death. Nobody wanted to say it out loud, but the implication was there. The Oblok community, already fractured since Von's death, now seemed fully divided. Some were calling for unity. Others were posting throwback pics of Von with captions like, "Real recognize real," and "Legends never fold." But the most chilling comment came from a now-deleted post by someone who used to roll heavy with Von. Karma don't miss. As the prison buzzed with whispers, Durk was reportedly moved into protective custody for his safety. Not solitary, but isolated enough to limit interactions. Insiders say he was furious, not about the attack itself, but about the optics. "I ain't no victim," he reportedly told a guard. "I'm good. Let me out." But it wasn't up to him. His team, his lawyers, even his label were scrambling. They didn't want this to become a bigger headline. They wanted to keep it quiet, too late. Meanwhile, someone leaked the name of one of the alleged attackers, Rico, the same inmate who'd been transferred just days before. Rumors say he used to run with some of Von's people, not direct crew but street connected, and he allegedly told someone after the fight, "I did what had to be done. That ain't no rapper to me. That's a traitor." With that, social media erupted again. Now it wasn't just about Durk, it was about codes, street loyalty. How far does your love for someone go when they're gone? Does silence mean guilt? Or does survival mean choosing your battles? As this saga comes to a close, the questions only get deeper. Was this just a random prison fight? Or was it the beginning of a bigger plan? A slow burn of revenge that's been building for years. The anonymous message was short but loaded. It came through a secure channel, and the source identified themselves only as Durk's shadow. They claimed to be someone close to Durk, who was watching everything unfold with growing frustration and anger. According to them, the attack was no accident, no random act of violence, but a carefully orchestrated plan, something years in the making. "They're trying to rewrite the story," Durk's shadow said. "They want people to believe Durk's the villain, that he abandoned Von, but that ain't the truth. Durk's loyalty is real, but some people only want to see what fits their narrative." This insider said the tension between Durk and Von's circle.
Everybody's already, they gone. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Durk probably the only one that can walk away. If, you know what I'm saying? They really like, no, he had nothing to do with that. Start going off of iCloud and this and that and this and that and well, he could have, if they do have a text message with him saying, "Oh, don't put no price on it," it could have been for a show. It could have been for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, they don't really have one Durk. Like, but he was the man with money. Right, that's how I look at it. He was the man with money, so we just gonna put it on him.
Had nothing to do with disrespect or money. It was about control, about power in the streets and in the music industry. Some factions never forgave Durk for the way he handled Von's death publicly. Others accused him of cozying up to the industry while leaving Von's legacy behind. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Durk's shadow claimed that there was a secret meeting that took place months before Durk's arrest. A meeting between Durk, Von's closest allies, and some outside parties who wanted to settle the scores and keep peace. It was supposed to be a truce. A way to honor Von's memory without more bloodshed. The problem is, not everyone showed up to that meeting, Durk's shadow said. Some folks refused to sit at the table. They wanted a different kind of justice. And when Durk got locked up, those people saw an opportunity. The message went on to reveal that Rico, the inmate allegedly behind the attack, was once a trusted member of Von's crew, but had become bitter and jealous over time. Jealous of Durk's success, jealous of the attention Von's legacy still brought to Durk. Rico felt betrayed, like Durk had taken what should have been Von's and turned it into his own empire. Durk's shadow told us that Durk tried to reach out to Rico before all this happened, to smooth things over, but Rico refused to listen. The cracks were too deep. Back inside the prison, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Inmates picked sides like a battlefield forming in slow motion. Guards noticed it too. There were whispered warnings, furtive glances, and coded messages passing between cells. One guard, speaking under condition of anonymity, said, "We could feel something was gonna pop off. It was like a powder keg." Durk tried to keep his head down, but you could see the stress. He wasn't the same guy from outside. And it wasn't just the physical attack that shook things up. There were emotional casualties too. Reports say Durk's family, especially his mother, was devastated when she got the news. She'd always been Durk's rock, the one keeping him grounded through the chaos of fame and street life. Sources close to the family said emotions ran high during the call. She broke down crying, one source said. She was scared for him like never before. The family was left divided on what to do next. Some wanted him to lay low, others wanted him to fight back. This family divide started playing out on social media as well. Durk's longtime friend and rapper King Von posted a cryptic message. Sometimes the ones closest are the hardest to trust. Fans immediately connected the dots, wondering if Von was hinting at the prison drama or something deeper. Meanwhile, Von's legacy took a hit too. His sister Kayla B, who had been the voice of calm after Von's death, now seemed torn. Sources say she felt trapped between loyalty to her brother's memory and the reality of what was happening to Durk. Kayla's always been about peace, a family insider said. But this whole situation has her heart broken. It's like the family was left divided. Some feel Durk did Von dirty. Others believe Durk is just surviving the system. As tensions flared inside and outside prison, the media started circling. Tabloids and blogs ran wild with speculation. Conspiracy theories spread fast. Some claimed Durk orchestrated the attack himself to gain sympathy. Others said Von's crew was plotting something bigger, using prison violence to send a message to Durk's label and collaborators. One of the most jaw-dropping twists came from an anonymous inmate who claimed to have overheard a phone call between Rico and an unknown contact. During the call, Rico allegedly said, "This ain't just about Durk. It's about sending a message to everyone who's forgotten where we came from. King Von ain't gone. He's just watching." This cryptic statement sent chills through the rap community. Was Rico planning more attacks? Was this just the beginning of a wave of violence inside prison and on the streets? No one knew for sure, but the fear was real. Amid all this chaos, Durk reportedly started pushing back mentally. People close to him said he was writing new music behind bars, channeling the pain and betrayal into his art. He's focused on telling his story, one insider said. He wants the world to know the truth from his side. And that truth, according to Durk's shadow, is messier than anyone imagined. There's talk of hidden alliances, backstabbing, and people playing both sides for their own gain. Durk himself allegedly confronted one of the attackers in the prison yard before the big fight, warning them to back off. He said, "I'm not the enemy, but if you make me one." "Don't say I didn't warn you," the insider shared. This confrontation apparently escalated tensions, setting the stage for the violent outbreak that followed. But the most shocking part, Durk wasn't the only one targeted. A close friend of Durk, another rapper locked up in the same facility, was also attacked days later in a similar incident. This second attack made it clear. Someone inside wanted to send a loud and clear message to Durk's entire camp. The family was no longer safe, and the music business was watching nervously. By this point, law enforcement officials and prison authorities were on high alert. The state's attorney's office launched an investigation into the incidents, and rumors swirled that new charges could be added to Durk's case. Not for his original crime, but for alleged involvement in a prison fight. Durk's legal team went into overdrive, trying to contain the fallout and protect their client's reputation. But with fans, family, and former associates all tangled in this web of accusations and drama, the damage was done. Yet, despite all the setbacks, Durk's fanbase rallied hard. Hashtags like "I Should Stand With Durk" started trending, and many fans flooded social media with messages of support. Some even called out Von's crew to let the past go and keep the peace. But peace felt miles away. The feud was deeper than anyone wanted to admit. The streets, the internet, and the prison yard were all simmering with tension, ready to explode again. It's clear that this story isn't just about a prison fight anymore. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the painful cost of surviving in a world where trust is scarce, and everyone's watching. But what will Durk do next? How will Von's family react to this new wave of violence? And could this drama spark something even bigger that changes the game forever? With the story exploding on social media again, fans, influencers, and rappers weighed in like never before. One unexpected reaction came from a figure no one thought would break silence. Rapper and Von's former close friend, OBG, who posted a cryptic video on his story. In it, he stared directly into the camera, voice cold and steady. Loyalty's everything, but sometimes, loyalty's tested in ways you can't imagine. Trust no one blindly. The message was clear. The wounds were still fresh, and the streets were far from forgiving. But the biggest shock, OBG didn't just hint at discord, he named names. Without explicitly calling Durk out, his tone left no doubt. Fans and critics alike interpreted this as a direct jab. Inside the prison, Durk's situation grew even more tense. Sources say the protective custody was a double-edged sword. It kept him safer physically, but isolated him socially. Durk, who thrives on connection and energy, felt trapped in a cage within a cage. According to one guard, Durk's got a lot on his mind. He's not the same guy who walked in here. The attack shook him, but what's worse is the feeling that nobody's really got his back. Rumors circulated that Durk started communicating through coded messages in letters sent to his team. Some insiders said these letters revealed his frustration and determination to clear his name and restore peace. He's tired of the rumors, tired of the drama, a source close to his legal team said. He wants to come out swinging, not with violence, but with the truth. But the truth, as it often is in situations like this, was tangled in a web of betrayal and complicated alliances. While Durk was behind bars, a surprising twist happened outside. A previously quiet member of Von's extended family, Von's cousin, known simply as T, who had mostly stayed out of the spotlight, stepped forward. T publicly called for unity and healing, urging everyone to stop the madness and focus on what Von would have wanted: peace. T's statement caused a stir. Some saw it as a much-needed olive branch, while others suspected it was a strategic move to calm the flames before they turned into a wildfire. Then came the bombshell. A leaked phone call surfaced online. The audio was grainy, but the voices were unmistakable. Durk, speaking with a close confidant, sounded raw and emotional. "I didn't sign up for this war inside, man," he said. "I'm just trying to survive and keep my family safe. But if they come for me again, I'm ready." The call painted a picture of a man cornered but not broken, a man who understood the stakes but refused to back down. This leak, however, backfired. It added fuel to the fire, convincing many that Durk was planning retaliation, not just inside prison, but out in the streets as well. Conspiracy theories about secret alliances and hit lists circulated rapidly. And then, the unexpected happened. An ally nobody saw coming stepped into the spotlight. Durk's former rival, G. Herbo. Known for keeping his distance from drama, Herbo publicly voiced support for Durk on Twitter. "This ain't about beef no more," he wrote. "This is about survival and respect. We all gotta come together, or we all lose." Herbo's tweet shocked the rap world. Fans wondered if this was the start of a truce or a sign that the situation was so serious. Even rivals had to unite. But peace was still a long way off. Behind the scenes, tensions between Von's crew and Durk's camp escalated further when a controversial interview dropped with one of Von's closest friends, known as P. In the interview, P accused Durk of using Von's death for clout and not doing enough to protect the family. P's words struck hard, reigniting old wounds and dividing fans and family alike. Durk's team fired back quickly, calling the accusations hurtful and baseless. They accused P of trying to stir up drama for personal gain. This back and forth created a media frenzy. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and news outlets dissected every word, every facial expression, trying to predict what would happen next. Meanwhile, inside the prison, Durk wasn't just fighting off physical threats. He was also battling the weight of the public spectacle. Sources say he's been working with his lawyers to push for a transfer to a safer facility, hoping to get away from the hostile environment. But that wasn't the only battle Durk faced. Rumors began to swirl about a possible connection between the prison attack and outside parties. Law enforcement was reportedly investigating whether the incident was linked to ongoing gang rivalries in Chicago and Atlanta. One insider said, "This isn't just prison drama. It's tied to bigger street politics. Some people want to send a message not only to Durk, but to the whole drill scene." And just when it seemed the story couldn't get more complicated, a leaked text conversation surfaced between Rico and another inmate. In it, Rico bragged about making Durk pay and hinted at plans to escalate the situation. Fans reacted with shock and fear. Some called for peace, others for justice. Amid all this, Durk's music career hung in the balance. His label reportedly pressured him to release new tracks addressing the drama, hoping to capitalize on the publicity while also controlling the narrative. Durk's creative team faced a dilemma: how to stay true to his story without adding fuel to the fire. And to a close, the pressure is mounting on all sides. Durk's health, safety, reputation, and legacy are all on the line. Von's family remains divided and the streets are restless. With so many moving pieces, one thing is clear: this saga is far from over. And that leads us to where secrets will be revealed. Alliances tested, and the true cost of loyalty finally laid bare, with new information coming to light that shakes the entire story upside down. A whistleblower from inside the prison spoke out anonymously to a popular YouTube channel, claiming there's more to the attack on Lil Durk than just personal grudges or street politics. According to this source, there's a conspiracy involving corrupt prison officials who've been manipulating rival groups to maintain control and create chaos. They use the fights to keep us divided, the whistleblower said. When we're fighting, we don't pay attention to what they're really doing. Durk got caught in the middle of a game bigger than him or Von's crew. This revelation sent shockwaves through the rap community and beyond. Suddenly, the attack wasn't just about revenge for King Von or a feud. It was about power, money, and manipulation at the highest levels of the prison system. At the same time, Durk's legal team leaked documents hinting that the charges against him might have been exaggerated or even fabricated by officials eager to make an example of a high-profile rapper. This added another layer to the growing tension. Durk's not just fighting inmates, one lawyer said. He's fighting a system that wants to keep him down. Meanwhile, back outside the prison walls, Von's family tried desperately to hold things together. Calebee, who had stayed silent for weeks, finally broke her silence with a heartfelt message to the fans. "This pain is real," she wrote. "We want peace, but we also want justice. We love Von, and we want his name honored, not used as a weapon." Her post sparked a wave of support, but also opened old wounds. Some fans accused her of not standing firmly enough by Von's legacy, while others praised her courage for speaking honestly. On the music front, Durk dropped a surprise freestyle from behind bars. In it, he addressed the attack and the betrayal he felt. "They came at me hard, thought I'd fall, but I'm built from pain, built from loss, and I'm still here," he rapped. The video quickly went viral, showing a raw, unfiltered Durk who refused to be broken. This freestyle reignited his fanbase's loyalty, but it also fueled the fire for his detractors, who said he was provoking more violence. And then came a stunning development. Rico, the alleged attacker, was suddenly transferred out of the facility. Sources say it was for his own safety, but rumors quickly spread that he was making a deal with authorities, possibly to testify against others involved in the prison drama. This sparked paranoia inside the prison. Whispers of
He wasn't till Von came around. He was singing, hanging out with their folks. Like, here's the thing I want. What you said earlier, I disagree with. When you said, "Oh, they've been trying to get Durk for ages," I disagree. Lil Durk had a couple little gun cases here and there. It was only when the king was. It was only when Von came around.
Inside the prison, whispers of snitches and double-crossers filled the halls. Durk's allies tightened their circle, wary of who they could trust. At the same time, Durk's management announced plans for a documentary to tell his side of the story. They promised never-before-seen footage, exclusive interviews, and answers to the biggest questions fans had. But many wondered, would this documentary calm the storm or pour gasoline on it? Towards the end of a late-night text conversation, leaked between Durk and a close friend, painted a picture of a man ready to reclaim his narrative. "I'm coming out swinging," Durk wrote. "They can't break me. This is bigger than music now. It's survival. Time to settle scores, but on my terms." This final message set the stage for what could be the biggest chapter in the saga yet. So, where does this leave us? The family is fractured but seeking peace. The fans are divided but loyal. The streets are restless but watching closely. And Durk himself is fighting battles on multiple fronts. One thing's for sure. The story of Lil Durk's prison attack and the shadow of King Von is far from over. And as this chapter closes, the question remains, will loyalty and love heal these wounds? Or will revenge and betrayal tear everything apart? We'll keep watching, and you better believe the next update will be even more explosive. So here we are, at the edge of one of the wildest stories the rap world has seen in a long time. Lil Durk attacked in prison. Was it revenge for King Von, or something way deeper and darker? With family divided, loyalties tested, and secrets spilling from behind bars, the drama is far from over. Fans are shocked, Emotions ran high, and the stakes have never been bigger. Durk's struggle isn't just about survival inside those prison walls anymore. It's about fighting a system, battling betrayal, and trying to hold on to a legacy that means everything to him and to Von's family. With new twists emerging every day, who knows what the next move will be? Will peace finally come? Or are we heading for another chapter of chaos and conflict? This story touches on so much more than just music or street beef. It's about loyalty, family, pain, and the cost of fame in a world where trust is rare and danger is constant. Every player in this saga has their own stake, and every move feels like it could change everything. Now it's your turn. What do you think really happened? Was the attack a calculated act of revenge or part of a bigger game? Do you believe Durk's side of the story, or is there more behind the scenes we don't know? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters and we want to hear it. If you're as hooked as we are, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for the latest updates, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. Trust me, this roller coaster is far from over, and you'll want to be right here when the next chapter unfolds. Stay tuned, stay safe, and as always, keep it locked right here for all the real talk, all the drama, and all the truth you won't get anywhere else.